Holy shit! It's working! Oh my god, it's working! I. Until now, I had no idea it was fixed. Broadcasting from the basement storeroom of station WDWL TV is the star of the show and the pride of the station, the grumpy old man, me. And asshole is still unfair to vultures, so screw him. Oh, Kathy, how are ya? Oh, Ron's here. Mrs. Metcalf's here. I don't know what the fuck happened yesterday. I even shut everything down, did a complete computer restart, restarted Prism, and it still didn't goddamn work. I don't know why I could not get this goddamn chat going last night. I knew there were people here. I don't know what the hell. And now, here's the strange thing, okay? Everybody's here on YouTube. Look at the counter. 0, 0, 0. Last night, I had 088. There were 8 people showing on YouTube. Tonight, if I was to look at the viewer widget, no one is watching the show. Nobody from Facebook, nobody from YouTube, no total people. I don't know. I swapped. I don't think it was the mic, but I decided to go with one I know has never given me a problem tonight. That shouldn't have anything to do with it. Now, the strange thing is, why is my counter not showing people? I'm not going to worry about it because I would rather have people in the chat than people showing up on the counter and no chat. Because, like I said in the short segment I ran last night, I'm still using Prism. I can't figure StreamYard out. I can't. I'm too stupid. Linda's here. I'll be the first one to admit it. I am too stupid to use OBS or StreamYard or Restream I can't figure them fucking things out. I really can't. I downloaded it. I've got two computers in Studio One. I put StreamYard on one and OBS on the other. I couldn't figure either one out. I need somebody that understands that shit to come in here and sit down next to me and say, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. Because for me to figure it out, it is way over my head. Everybody tried. As a matter of fact, I just went brain dead. Mrs. M, I can't even figure out how to open it and run it, let alone widgets and all that other shit. Too goddamn confused. It's way over my head. All right, I'll be looking for it. So far, he hasn't. Although him and I have never emailed. Have we emailed back and forth? Maybe we have. I have to look in my. I can't remember if I used my email 1 or email 2. I'll have to look. Linda, Jenny was messaging me in Discord, and I don't know what the hell happened last night. I did my normal setup. I hit start, and there's always a 15 to 30-second delay from when I hit start and go live. And I went live, and I thought everybody was kind of screwing with me. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I know, like, Ron and Kathy like to see who can get in first. And I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And nothing. Well, if I wouldn't get a bunch of troll shit, I'd tell you my email live, but I have to figure something out. How I can get my email to certain people. Because I accidentally did that a couple years ago, and man, I got hacked and all kinds of bullshit went on. And then everybody told me, you don't give your email out live. Well, yeah, I know. Now, before we go any farther, if my doorbell rings, I may have to answer the door and come back and end the show because I've got somewhat of a serious situation that's been going on all day. And if the doorbell rings, that could be the solution to the problem I've been having. So, just to warn everybody, I might have to get up and run, answer the door, and then come back and say, "See ya." So I don't want nobody offended. It might be a real abrupt ending because I've been waiting for 4 hours to the solution to this situation. So, if the doorbell rings, I will answer the door. I will excuse myself. And then I might have to come back and say, "Gotta go." Linda, I've discovered that I I have to stick with USB microphones because when I try to convert the old school XLR with that converter, I have problems. This one, old reliable. Plug it in. I don't even have to check the settings. It should be sounding pretty decent. It's, I'll tell you what, I really like this mic. I really do. I kind of like the multicolor one better. You know, Kathy, everybody tells me I should stick with this one. Now, I like the one that changes colors because I'm a color freak, but you know, you go with what sounds best, not because it's a play toy. So I might just stick with this one for quite a while. Although, you know, my Blue Yeti microphones are really the kick ass ones. But I don't like, they're on desk stands. And I need to do stuff on the console, so I can't have a mic with a desk stand. The Blue Yetis do have hanging brackets, but oh, they look so fucking stupid. I adjusted the chat. I made the font a little larger. It makes it a little easier for me to read. Matter of fact, I think this was the original font I started with. But I'm glad I have a chat tonight. I'm sitting here going, everybody hates me. Nobody wants to come on the show. And then I said, well, let me just kill everything and try again. I killed everything. I restarted everything. And still, I couldn't get a chat. Thank you, Mrs. M. I like it. I like it too. It's easier for my 73-year-old eyes to read, even though I had, you know, both Cadillacs taken off my eyes. From the surgery, when's my appointment? Next month? So I think at the end of next month. My 2-year eye exam. I I I I know they're going to have to laser the right eye because when I do this, because they told me that the scar tissue was starting to encringe a little bit on the lens that they implanted. So that'll be nothing. Done. I'll tell you what. I've had a shitload of surgeries over the years. That cataract surgery, that was something else. To be wide awake while you're in that twilight sleep, and the doctor's asking the questions, what color do you see? Blue, green, white, red, And then you see the fucking instrument come at your eye like, whoa! Of course, they, they clamp your head down so you can't move. But it's scary seeing shit come at your eye. And even the doctor didn't tell me, you're going to be awake. I'm going to be talking to you. Although, I'll tell you what, I put that surgery off too long. I hadn't realized how goddamn blind I was until both eyes healed up and I was like, holy shit, can I see? Oh, you're lucky, Linda, unless they were major. I've had two nasty hernia surgeries. And I mean, the hernias were nasty. I've had two carpal tunnels, two Cadillacs, two throat surgeries. And a C5 C6 fusion. I'm done with surgeries. It, now, I had a couple of friends that had fusion surgery done, okay? They all had the incisions on the back of their neck. I go in and I get mine done, and I've got a big bandage right here. And I'm like, did you fix that? Oh, yeah. He didn't tell me they did it the new way. Actually, it's less invasive when they go through the front. Because when they go through the back, they have to split that muscle. When they go through the front, they pull the muscle out of the way. And then they go in and they hammer and they drill and chop and like the anvil chorus, you know. Oh yeah, isn't it a bitch? They tell you, don't blink, don't blink. Well, quit coming at my eye with shit. Of course, when you get, Cadillac surgery done, they have that eye clamp that jacks your, it literally jacks your eyelids open. 8. Holy kielbasa. You got me beat. All right, wait a minute. 2, 4, 6, 7, or 7. 2 throat. I got you beat 9. Let me count again. 2 hernias. 2 carpals. That's 4. 2 eyes. That's 6. 1 fusion. 7. 2 throat. 9. And I'll tell you, here's a good one that'll make you laugh. We need a joke. We need a joke. Tell you what kind of an asshole I am, okay? Operating rooms are about minus 60 degrees. So I had my second throat surgery, which was the nasty one because that's when he took that tumor that was about a hair's width from my larynx. So I wake up in the operating room. Okay? I am fucking freezing my balls off. And the first thing out of my mouth is, holy shit, I'm in the morgue. And then the lights came on and the nurse went, no, you're not. Whoa. She was laughing her ass off. To come out of surgery, wake up, and be freezing, and no lights on. I don't know why they turned the lights out. And I yelled, I'm in the morgue. And then the light came on. No, you're not. And then they wheeled me to recovery. Now, why didn't they take me to fucking recovery to wake me up? And then I was so goddamn cold, they must have put 30 warm blankets on me. I couldn't get warm. And the nurse was bitching at me. Will you quit yelling? I said, I'm freezing. Warm me up. Oh, God, I was so cold. I thought I was in the fucking cooler in the morgue. And that story went around the recovery room, and all the nurses said, "We've never heard anybody say that before." Well, make a note on your charts. Grumpy woke up thinking he was in the fucking morgue. I was frozen. They must have had that goddamn operating room at -60. I don't know why. I don't know why they had it so cold. Was my doctor wearing a parka? They were piling the goddamn. Matter of fact, they emptied the warmer. They had to go get more blankets, and I must have had a stack of blankets like that on me. Warm me up. I'm freezing. And then they're yelling at me. You're not supposed to be yelling. You just had throat surgery. Well, you scared the shit out of me. I thought I was dead. Alive dead in the morgue. What a place to be. When you're in the morgue in the hospital, it's not like there's an attendant sitting down there. In case you're yelling, "Hey, I'm not dead." I was, Kathy, I was fucking. You would think that they brought me in from the snow. You know, I was laying out in the goddamn snow for hours. I was frozen. And, you know, I had 8 previous surgeries. I've never in my life been that goddamn cold. I kept telling, "Are you warming up?" "No." "More blankets." "Quit yelling." "More blankets." You're straining your voice. "More blankets." I would like to have one of them blanket warmers. Oh, those would be nice in winter. Get ready to go to bed. Peel the covers back. Lay one of them warm blankets down. Then get in, lay on the warm blanket, and then have a second one pull over you. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I even asked my surgeon, my ENT, I said, "Why was it so goddamn cold in there?" He was, "What? It wasn't cold for me." And when you're that cold, it takes forever to warm up. I was asking the nurses, rub my arms, rub my legs, rub my body, get the blood flowing. Quit yelling. "All right. Warm me up." Yeah, Kathy, the problem is they don't make them for like dorm size. It would be nice if I had a dorm size blanket warmer like my dorm size refrigerator. That way I would have the refrigerator on one side of the bed and the blanket warmer on the other. No, they're the size of industrial refrigerators. I could have got one. They had one at Lakewood Hospital that was old, and they were getting rid of it. The only problem was it was 220, and I didn't have a 220 line in my bedroom. I never thought of checking Timu. Christ, they have everything under the sun. Oh, here. Talk about piss me off. I needed some flex tape. You know, that waterproofing flex tape that works. So I go to Homeless Depot, and it's $14, and the roll is maybe 5 foot, maybe. I'm on Timu the other day. What do I find? Flex tape. $2.50 a roll. Quantity 8. I bought them all. They'll be here next week. Because that flex tape, oh, does it work? Oh, ho, 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 ho. The shit box, when it would rain, I'd be driving along and water would be leaking. So I had bought some silicone sealer, you know, driving along, drip, drip, drip. I bought a roll of flex tape. Homeless Depot, $14.95. Sealed that windshield perfect. Not one drip. So I stocked up. Timu, the one seller, had 8 left. $2.50. Bought all 8. And I have been searching. There are other sellers that have flex tape, but I'm too cheap to pay $6 a roll. So I'm waiting for them to reduce the price, because I'll buy more. Oh, Linda, it works. Believe me, it works. The first time I used it, I had a leaking pipe in the basement. I wrapped that pipe. For years, hasn't leaked since. It's one of the few items, as seen on TV, that works. And the spray sealer, oh, that works too. Matter of fact, I have 3 cans in the cupboard. Clear. I don't buy the color. So the tape and the spray. The spray, like a can of spray paint, looks like a rattle can. Now, they have the paste. I haven't tried that. But the tape and the paint the spray sealer, they work. You know, Linda, I think they're the same manufacturer, the Flex tape and the Gorilla tape. They look the same. But the as seen on TV does work. Oh, you know, like I say, Mrs. M, 14.95 and that roll maybe was 5 feet, maybe. But I'll tell you, it sealed that windshield right up. I have not had a leak since. And that pipe in the basement. And that pipe was dripping. Now, 99% of the shit you buy, if it's wet, it won't stick. This stuff did. Oh, Linda, I have a roll of duct tape in both vehicles. I've got 2 or 3 rolls of duct tape in the kitchen cupboard. Oh, like they say, if nothing else will fix it, duck it. Matter of fact, they make that shit just about 5, 6 miles from me. As a matter of fact, the plant is in Avon. Every year, they have a duct tape parade. The company sponsors it. They literally have a duct tape parade in Avon every year. And it's amazing what shit people make out of duct tape. Okay. But yeah, the plant is right in Avon. It's maybe 20 minutes from me. And every summer, they have a duct tape parade. And they crown Miss Duct Tape. And of course, Miss Duct Tape has, her court. How would you like to be crowned Miss Duct Tape? And the crown is made out of duct tape. Oh yeah, good old Harbor Freight, the adult toy store. When I go in, I have to take somebody with me. And I tell them, I don't want to spend more than $50. And when I get to $50, they drag me out of the store because I could go crazy in Harbor Freight. And since Craftsman Tools got so shitty, Harbor Freight's quality has really improved. Because all the Craftsman now is made in fucking China. And you don't get the lifetime warranty. Goddamn Craftsman, that's what they were known for. They started the lifetime warranty before Snap Off. I need to make a little adjustment here. Check one, check two, check, check, double check. Oh, that's better. My earphones weren't up high enough. Oh, I've done that already, Linda. I've super glued and duct taped glasses back together. You well, you know, they've been using that shit in NASCAR for years. That's why they call it the 150-mile-an-hour tape. The car gets damaged, they just fucking duct tape the. Okay, go. Well, you know, talk about how stupid Sears was. They made a deal with Lowe's to sell Craftsman tools. Then they canceled the deal and made a deal with Ace Hardware. Around here, we no longer have an Ace Hardware because the fucking store closed. I'm not going to drive 2 suburbs over to get my Craftsman tool replaced. And then Lowe's picked up Cobalt, which is a very good quality tool. Cobalt is a really decent tool maker. But originally, the deal was Lowe's was going to sell Craftsman. Why they went with fucking Ace, I don't know. There's more goddamn Lowe's than there are Ace Hardware stores. Of course, Sears is gone. That used to be my adult toy store. We had one just up the road. Well, Mrs. M, you know, 110th and Lorraine. Big Sears store. What was it, 3 floors? I'd walk in the back door, hit the escalator to the basement, make a right turn, and there was heaven. I mean, tools. And then come up the escalator, get ready to go out the back door, get a Frosty Freeze, and then go home. Because they had the Frosty Freeze shop right in the back of Sears. And then Dave Thomas tried to buy the recipe, and the guy that owned and copyrighted the recipe for the Frosty Freeze was really smart because he told Dave Thomas, I will give you 90% of the recipe. I'm not giving you 100%. And that's why the Frosties don't taste exactly like the frosty freezes. All right, Ron. Drive safe or travel safe, whatever you're doing. Bike safe, walk safe, skateboard safe. Really? Oh, that was cool, Kathy. Was today Ron's big day? Was today stent day? Oh, Ron, take it easy, please. And make sure you get a hold of Linda and let her know you're home and you're good to go. And take it easy for the next couple of days. Glad you came through it A-OK. Good news. Yeah, well, yeah, Kathy, yeah. Yeah, he spent all that time worrying, and tomorrow morning he'll probably feel like a teenager. Well, not that young, but he'll have more pep in his step. I'm glad everything went A-OK. Makes me feel good. I forgot today was the big day. Yeah, Linda, he was, you could tell he was getting anxious and worked up and worrying about it too much, and he come through it flying colors. Yeah, and see, I forgot about it. Otherwise, I would have said something earlier. I was just glad I had a chat again. I don't know what that glitch was, but if you look right here, 000, it's not registering for some reason, which I don't give a shit. I can delete that. But what went haywire last night? And and I was talking to you guys, going, I know you're back there. Well, Linda, it's obvious it went better than everybody thought. which is wonderful. Now he's just got to take it easy. Because when he wakes up tomorrow morning, he's going to, whoa, I feel good. Well, like I said, Linda, I could tell. He was saying certain things, and I know he was. Although, you know, he was worried about this again. So I could see why he was getting worked up. I knew you guys were back there. I knew you were back there. And I figured somebody would get through. I don't know. Yeah, that's Linda, that's another reason I went back to this mic. Because I would set the levels. And for some reason, when I would hit start, it would go full volume and I didn't touch anything. So last night, the mic came out of the holder, went back in the fucking storeroom cupboard, brought this one back out, and I said, I'm using this one. Stente. And Ron, you came through it with flying colors, buddy. Now go home and relax. I'm sorry, I forgot. But I'm glad you come through it. Wonderful. Well, Linda, yeah, I could I could totally understand because if this would have gone haywire again, there'd have been problems. And that, I think that's what worried him more than the stent was, am I going to end up the same way I was the last time? So thank God everything went perfect. And the roto rooter job worked. And he'll be feeling that blood flow. So I'm glad everything went better than expected. I bet you right now he's going like, whew, I can relax now. And let's hope he does. You know, out of all the frickin' surgeries I had, the only one that really worked me up was the last throat surgery. Because the doctor literally told me if that tumor is encroaching, you ain't going to be talking when you wake up. And I was like, what? Yeah, you'll need one of those. Hello, how are you? And I didn't want that. I didn't want to sound like, oh God, what was his name? Steven something, I think. The one that had, was it Lou Gehrig's? He won Nobel Peace Prize and all kinds of other stuff. I can't remember his name. What, Steven something, wasn't it? He even went up in that plane the astronauts go up in. They go up and they're weightless for 10, 15 seconds. The plane does them parabolic loops. I'm pretty sure his first name was Steven. All right, chat, save me. You know who I'm talking about. I'm drawing a blank. I'm pretty sure he had ALS. Christ, he traveled the world. Oh, it'll come to me about 3 in the morning. I watched a very interesting documentary the other night on octopus. It's amazing how smart those things are. He was a world famous researcher, and he got ALS, and he couldn't talk. He used a computer, and he even went up in that, they call it the vomit comet, the weightless plane that does the parabolic loops. I think he won a Peace Prize at one time. Stephen something. You know, he was all. He couldn't talk. He used that machine, you know. Hello, how are you? He sounded like Hawking. There it is. I knew somebody would save me. The guy was amazing. God, what he did, totally paralyzed like that. I think he met like 4 presidents or something like that. I mean, man. And it didn't bother him. You know, they'd wheel him out and he'd give lectures and, yeah, Mrs. M, my savior. I had the Stephen, I couldn't think of the last name. But getting back to my octopus documentary, it is amazing how intelligent they are. They can problem solve. They were showing, they put clams and shrimp in bottles, and they put different lids on. And it was amazing how that goddamn octopus could figure out how to take a lid off and then get the shrimp out. And they can squeeze into like nothing. And then they were showing I think it's the Pacific. They're huge, big, big. And the sad thing is, when they lay their eggs, they no longer leave that chamber. They don't eat. And they stay alive just long enough to see their young hatch. And then they die. And they only live like 2 or 3 years. That's their lifespan. But once the female lays their eggs, they never leave them. And they showed this one, and the eggs were starting to hatch, and she died the next day. No, he was talking about the vomit comet. That's what they called that fucking plane, because most of the people, when it did them parabolic arches, they'd puke. Isn't he on his way home yet? I thought he was on his way home. Is he still waiting to get... Oh, you're home. Good. Now, take it easy, buddy. Go in, lay down, put the TV on. Yeah, it was really sad to watch that female octopus just slowly withering away and withering away, and it was like they time it. The eggs started to hatch, and then she died the next day. I'm sitting there going, no. Yeah. Yeah, Kathy, I don't know what takes longer, to check in or check out. Especially like if you go into ER, they throw you in a bed and they forget you're there. Although I'll tell you what, Metro, they're damn good. Although they always want to get rid of me. Like, oh, gee, you just came out of recovery. Okay, go home. Can I get dressed first? Oh, yeah. And leave the gown, please. Yeah, well, let's get them in bed, Linda, because I know they're all so happy to see him. Okay, march right in the bedroom. Get in there, lay down. Evidently not. Boy, that was quick. Well, me, they want to get rid of. If they could have wheeled me from the operating table right right into my car, they would have done that. Although if they cut back any more, you'll be doing your own fucking surgery next. Jesus. Like I say, all of my doctors, the nurses don't come get me anymore. The doctor comes out. Okay, come on. And like I say, they you would walk in, they would weigh you, take you back, take your vitals, not no more. Well, now he's home, and the girls can calm down now. Let him get in bed. They don't need no treats or nothing. Just, Man, this morning I went through every section of my YouTube dashboard, checking settings. Then I read the analytics. Got out of that page in a hurry. That was depressing. Out of a 2-hour show, I average for a month, the average 47 minutes. That's what it worked out to. Out of a 2-hour show, they watch 47 minutes and go, oh, heading up a him. Click. That's why I don't read my analytics page too much. And I lost a subscriber. We were at 112, today 111. Somebody gave up on me. What, you know, Kathy, ever since they built that new fucking hospital, all the satellites are turning to shit. They really are. When I go out to Parma, there's 7 check-in windows. There's never more than 4 people. And they have 5 kiosks. Well, I ain't checking myself in. No. Not good, Linda. Car don't belong in the ditch. That's why they paint them white lines on the side of the road. You're supposed to stay in between the white lines. What the hell they call them? Fog lines? I think they call them fog lines. That's like when I had my Harley. I had what they call them ditch lights. They aimed down at the road and then they aimed out to the side. So if I was riding at night, I had illumination on either side. Although I didn't do much night riding. And man, one night I got caught in a rainstorm. Oh God, was my blood pressure cranking. I'm like, please don't wreck the bike, please. And it was fucking pouring. And there was nowhere to pull off. That was the last time I went out without checking the weather. I was so afraid I was going to dump that thing. Oh. I got home, I was so wound up I couldn't sleep for 3 days. Especially being the first Harley I ever owned, and being 100th anniversary, I didn't want to put a scratch on it. Well, you're lucky you had your own road service crew. Uh, I hope he's quiet. He has a trunk full of fucking groceries. And usually him and his wife start. Because I got the window open. I need the airflow. Yeah. He put 57 bags of groceries. You know, and then he's trying to get the door open. But take 27, not 57. He's a trip. Although I can't get mad at him because I might need a tow one day. He owns a big towing company and repair garage. And I have to talk to him about getting a RAV4 fixed. Because I give up on it. I can't figure out why I can't get it to run. Ball game was canceled, huh? Rain. Well, let's hope they win the next one. Yeah, this goddamn RAV4 is driving me crazy. Any other time I put a fuel pump in something, turn the key, it starts right up. I'm getting gas. I don't know what. It gets to a certain point and nothing. So I give up on it. I'm just gonna tell him one night, bring a flatbed home, hook it, and take it with you in the morning. $113. We had a little rain earlier. It cooled down to 79. Yeah, got that right, Kathy. You got 2 hands full of bags, and then you can't push the button on the door to get it open. And he won't put nothing down. Oh, Christ, he's still got more shit in the trunk. But I don't dare piss him off. Because when you're driving pieces of shit, you might need a hook one day. I can't wait to get the Passat. Oh. Then yesterday when I don't know, I looked that car over, and I don't know how I missed the fucking busted mirror on the driver's door. I was over there last night. I was like, how the hell did I miss that? Looked like somebody took a fucking baseball bat to the mirror. And of course, they're not the cheap ones. It's the power heated mirror. And what people don't know, a VW Passat is actually an Audi A4 with just different trim. Well, Volkswagen parts, you pay Audi prices. I'm slowly noticing that. Because they come down the same assembly line. The basic, I'll say like skeleton. And they put the powertrain in and everything. And then when the sheet metal goes on, It's like, okay, this one's an Audi, this one's a Volkswagen Passat. This is an A4, this is a Passat. They're the same goddamn car. But you pay Audi prices for parts. As I was researching a bunch of shit on eBay today, and I was like, oh, jeez. And of course, there aren't any in the boneyard. So I have to buy brand new mirrors because they tell you if you replace one, the other one will go bad. You got to do them in pairs. So I'm going to have to put two frickin' power heated mirrors on. I checked 5 different boneyards today, Linda. Not one. Not one. 98 to 05 Passat. Same mirrors. 5 different boneyards. Sorry. We don't have any. And here's the stupid thing. The Audi mirrors won't fit. They have to be Volkswagen mirrors. Because the mounting is just a little different. The way it mounts to the door. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It's the same fucking car. But no. Volkswagen has to have the mounting bolts up and down, and Audi has them side to side. And then the plug is different too. The Volkswagen has a flat plug. Audi has a square plug. So you can't cheat. Now, it's not like that with a GM or a Ford. With the Volkswagen, you got to do in a pair. It says, I double checked. I even asked the boneyard. I says, I can't just do one. No. Got to do them both. Oh, yeah, I believe it. You know what BMW stands for, don't you? Big money wasted. Everybody thinks it stands for Bavarian Motor Works. No, it's big money wasted. Oh, I remember on my Ford Ranger, I had heated mirrors, and I busted one, bought one, plugged it in, worked fine. I'm slowly starting to regret buying the thing already. Because I have to have mirrors. I can't drive with that rear view mirror. I have to I have to have my side mirrors. Yeah, I forgot that one. Yeah, that's the other saying. Broke my wallet. Because when I ordered the Chilton's manual, it says on there Volkswagen, Passat, Audi A4. Under the hood, it's the same fucking car. The whole drivetrain is Audi. They just put a Volkswagen emblem on it. Because everything is an Audi part number. Oh, parts are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And then, some of these new cars have three, four, five, six radiators on them. Like the new Corvettes. There's a radiator in the middle. There's one in each corner. There's in the back. Got fucking radiators everywhere. Linda, I got that from driving truck. Once you drive a truck, you don't even look at the rearview mirror on the windshield. I'm constantly looking out my side mirrors. I very rarely look at the rearview mirror. The only time is if I'm backing into a parking space and I don't want to hit the barrier behind me. That's the only time I look in the rearview mirror. Otherwise, I got to have my side mirrors. I can't drive without my side mirrors. And what really irritates me is when people will hit your mirror in a parking lot and not put it back, try to figure out, oh, okay. And you get in and you go to pull out, like, what the hell's with that goddamn fucking mirror? Well, I think on a school bus, the rearview mirror is to watch the kids. I don't even think you could see all the way to the ass end of the bus. And I love bigger the better. Oh man, I love big side mirrors. That's what's nice about the Fords, the F-150s, 250s, 350s. Man, they got them big side mirrors. Linda, sometimes that rearview mirror will irritate me. I'll just turn it up. I just reach up and turn it up. I don't even want to look at it. That's the way you're supposed to drive. That's why cars have mirrors on the doors. But no, people don't use them. Then they have to put them fucking alarms on them, You're getting too close. Yeah, what do they call it? Lane change something. You're supposed to look in them. Although I hear that within, I want to say, the next 5 years, they're going to do away with the side mirrors. And there'll be cameras. And then you'll look at your dash. Instead of looking out the side, you'll look at your dash because there'll be little cameras. Because they say mirrors have too much wind resistance. Cuts down on the economy. Rip the mirrors off the side of the cars and get an eighth of a mile to a gallon more. Yeah, they're saying who the hell governs that? NHTSA? I can't remember. But yeah, they say within 5 years, instead of mirrors, you'll have little cameras. And then you just watch your dashboard. That'll be a pain in the ass to get used to. I mean, they put all this shit on the cars. The lane change bullshit, and then if somebody too close behind you or somebody too close in front of you, because people don't pay attention. They're too much bullshitting on the phone. That's why they put that. If you start to drift over, Have you got a F-150 or 250 or a newer Silverado? Because that's why they designed that tailgate with a little bumpy thing in it. So the wind comes down and buffets off the so you don't. Yeah, people used to put the tailgate down to save on gas. That's why Ford and Chevy have designed that tailgate with the lip on it now. Yeah, Kathy, everybody's distracted. So they have to put a sensor on the front of the vehicle so you don't smash into the guy in front of you. Then they got to put sensors on both your sides so that you don't drift out of your lane. And then they got to put a sensor on to slow the car down so you don't smash into the guy in front of you because nobody pays attention. Then a buzzer goes off and you're trying to figure out what the hell. Yeah, Linda, that's why they have that neat little lip off the end of the tailgate. Because Ford proved that in a wind tunnel because the way the wind it hits and it buffets off instead of going, you know, the wind is going like this and it used to go into the bed. Well, now that's why they put that lip. So when the wind buffets, it hits that lip and it stays out of the bed. Yeah, and those sensors aren't cheap. My buddy's wife pulled into a parking lot with her Lexus and she hit that, those concrete barriers and the bumper busted and it broke that front sensor. So in case you get too close to somebody, it puts on the brakes. That sensor was $3,000. The sensor was more than the bumper and the paint. 3 grand for that front distance sensor. Because, it senses the distance and then it slowly applies your brakes for you because you're not paying attention. Well, then when a sensor goes off, you're looking around trying to figure out which one it is. Right side, left side, back, front. And then, these cars that you take your hands off the steering wheel. You push a button and the car drives itself. And every now and then you have to touch the steering wheel, you know. Not to mention, there's a sensor that looks at your eyes to make sure that you're looking forward. I don't want a car that I can't put my hands on the steering wheel. Yeah, Ford's got it, Chevy's got, or GM's got it. You push a button and you take your hands off the wheel and the car drives itself. I don't think so. I, the other night, a Buick commercial. I was watching a Buick commercial. And I push a button and take their hands off the steering wheel. What are you going to do if something goes haywire and you're driving along at 60 and then all of a sudden your car ain't driving itself and it. Yeah, most of the new vehicles have it. Ford's got it, GM's got it. I I know Mercedes. Yeah, hands off. We have enough accidents on the roads the way it is, let alone you're taking your hands off the wheel. And then these goofy Teslas that you could just about take a nap while you're driving. And then I know it's California, and I want to say maybe Nevada. These self driving vehicles, like an Uber with no driver. I don't think so. I can't remember the outfit that was testing them. Although for the longest time they had to have somebody sitting there behind the wheel, but the car drove itself. Autonomous cars. We aren't the Jetsons. Yeah, you got a sensor to keep you from going to the right, and a sensor to keep you from going to the left, and a sensor to keep you from hitting the car in front of you. And when you got to get that shit fixed, oh, it's outrageous. And we'll tell you something. Like Ford and GM have bumper to bumper warranty, it does not cover electronics. If your infotainment center goes haywire, which that stupid thing controls everything, radio, heater, that It's not covered. Bumper to bumper warranty does not cover all the electronics inside your car. My sister found out the hard way because her infotainment center went out in her Ford Edge. And luckily, she had a separate that she purchased, a separate warranty, because Ford told her that's not covered. And them stupid things control everything. Luckily, her other warranty took care of it. Otherwise, it would have been $2,000 out of her pocket. And they don't tell you this. They tell you, oh, you got bumper to bumper. Well, any dummy like me would go, oh, okay, from the front bumper to the back bumper, everything is covered. Not. I'll never forget when my son had his 2017 Impala. He'd leave the radio on, get out of the car. I'd get in to move the thing, the radio be blasting. I'd be punching fucking buttons all over the place. And like, how do you turn that fucking radio off? And it runs your heat and your AC, all that shit in one box. When that box goes down, screw you. Get out your wallet. Bumper to bumper only covers powertrain. And they're even pretty picky about that shit, too. I had a friend, the goddamn ABS sensor went out on one of his wheels. Wasn't covered. He said, bumper to bumper. Well, no, that ABS sensor isn't covered. Yeah, isn't that a nice shock when they tell you, oh, sorry, you have to pay? It's almost cheaper to get rid of the fucking vehicle. It's ridiculous. It's bad enough. A lot of these vehicles don't last to the end of the fucking mortgage. Some of these cars they finance for about 7 years. 10 years. By the time you pay the car off, It ain't worth nothing. Well, I got the idea, Linda. Yeah. Thank you, autocorrect. Yeah. And, the disgusting thing is, you go to buy a car, and they brag about all the features, and oh, we got 100,000 mile warranty coverage. That don't cover shit. But they don't tell you that. Like I say, luckily, my sister bought an aftermarket warranty coverage policy that covered the infotainment center because just that little box was $2,000, not counting labor because they have to tear the whole fucking dashboard apart to take it out. I had a friend, I can't remember what year, he had a Silverado 1500. I think it was a 2020 Silverado. And the heater core started leaking. They had to take the whole fucking dashboard out of the truck to get to the heater core. He come in one day, everything was, his whole dashboard and everything was sitting on a cart. $6,000 later, he had heat again. And every year, they make them more difficult to repair because they don't want me fixing my own car. They want the dealer to fix the car. I'm slowly learning this already with the Passat. This car is going to be a real learning experience for me. I always said I wasn't going to own anything newer than a 1999. Well, I'm in a 2001. And European engineering is even screwier than American engineering. I looked under the hood yesterday. I went, oh, fuck. I'm going to have fun with this. Close the hood. Yeah, they do not want the backyard mechanic to work on their vehicles. That's why you have to have a goddamn $2,000 or $3,000 scanner just to figure out what's wrong with the goddamn car. You know, I've got a small. I didn't pay that much. I got a small scanner. I can't wait to plug it into the Passat and see how many fucking trouble codes there are. Oh, yeah, there's a big lawsuit going on. A class action suit against John Deere because they don't want to give up any of their technology. They don't want the farmer fixing his own tractor. Oh, yeah, there's a big class action suit going on right now. And I'll tell you what, tractors are even worse to fix than cars because most of your tractors are what they call geofenced. A farmer puts in his cornfield into the fucking system and then starts the tractor, and the tractor goes out and plows the field by itself. But there is a you're right, Mrs. M, a huge class action lawsuit against John Deere right now. Because they don't want you to touch it. They want you to call John Deere service. On YouTube, I follow Millennial Farmer, and he was talking about this big class action suit. It was a while back because one of his tractors went down and his scanner wouldn't work. And John Deere has encrypted fucking technology. And they don't want to give the farmer that technology. Well, farmers, their profit ratio is next to nothing anyway. They can't afford to keep calling fucking John Deere out. God, back in the day, you could fix a John Deere tractor with a hammer and a screwdriver, you know. Oh, yeah, Kathy, and look how much plastic is in the new cars. Everything's plastic. I don't know him. But I found out, a while back, about, I think just about any farmer that owns a John Deere tractor is in that fucking class action suit. But this is what the everything is coming to. I'm not even sure my scanner will work on that thing. I'll have to plug it in and see. Let me make a note of that. Chicanic. Alright, I'm going to scope him out. Another note. You know, it's hard enough for farmers, to hang on the way it is. And then for them to get screwed over, take a look back when we were growing up. There were fucking farms for miles. And now it's housing developments. Although, God, I can't remember the farmer's name. Oh, God. He got smart because he leased out certain strips of his farmland, and he became a wheat, corn, and wind farmer. Yeah, he has wheat, corn, and propellers. The propeller company came in and said, we'll give you X bucks to lease certain parts of your farmland. And the propeller profit is really helping him. Although, like he said, there's certain areas he can't plant. But the money from the propeller lease Mrs. M, the perfect, and you know this area, out in North Ridgeville, used to be acres and acres and acres and acres and acres and acres of farm. Now it's goddamn fucking housing. I couldn't believe it the last time. My uncle used to live out in Columbia Station. He had 60 acres. Now, when him and my aunt passed away, he had 4 sons. None of them wanted the farm. They sold it to a housing developer. And when I took a ride out there, I could not believe how much what used to be corn is gone. Houses, 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 houses. I'm driving along going, gee, this used to be cornfields. It's sad. We are just shoving the old American farmer off the map. You know, they're having a hard enough time paying their property taxes, let alone, the cost of seed and then the cost of equipment. I remember my uncle had a combine. Now I'm talking back in 1960. That combine in 1960 was $2,000. Big money. A combine today, $500,000. Of course, it's bigger and more modern and air conditioned, and who the hell can afford that? There was one site I used to follow. Oh God, it was like Karen Farms or Kathy Farms. It was a husband and wife, but they called it like Karen Farms or Kathy Farms. And one year, she said they were over $1 million in debt. And she didn't see a way out of it. And they were trying to hang on to the goddamn farm. Yeah, because the poor farmer, by the time they plant and fertilize and weed kill, and by the time they harvest, they're lucky to break even. Because we import so much fucking grain and shit. America is putting the poor farmer out to pasture. We get 70% of our agriculture from Argentina. Argentina today is like what America used to be back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. It's nothing for there to be a farm in Argentina with 3 to 5,000 acres. And we get most of our agriculture from there. In the last 4 years, before my uncle passed away, the government was paying him not to plant. And they would come out and check his 60 acres to make sure he didn't plant. They paid him. Here, don't plow them 60 acres. Don't plant nothing. Here, we'll pay you. Pay a farmer not to grow a crop, so that we can fucking import it from Argentina or Bolivia or wherever, Mexico. Farming used to be the American dream. Now it's turning into the American nightmare. What's wrong, Ron? Linda, call Ron. He's not feeling well. Give him a call, see what's going on. Are you in bed, Ron? You laying down? Linda, get on the phone with him. See what's wrong. All right. I'm glad to hear you're laying down, but stay by your phone. I'm telling Linda to call you. Well, he's in bed, but he says he's not feeling well. So I would get on the horn with him, Linda. See what's going on. Maybe they discharged him too early. You know, maybe they should have kept him overnight. If you think you got to go back around, don't play games. Go back to that goddamn hospital. Don't take no chances. Now you got us worried. I know with you being on the east side, Kathy, did you ever get over on the west side and back in the day, North Ridgeville, Avon Lake, it was all farm country. Now, basically, it's God. There's one section. It's literally called Millionaires Row. There are houses that are like the size of fucking factories. Jesus Christ. Well, those are your. They plug in the EKG in that shit. Yeah, you probably got contact patches all over you. But if you're not feeling right, get back to that hospital. Don't take no chances, buddy. Matter of fact, quit chatting. Answer the phone. Linda's calling you. But Kathy, I remember out in your area, because my grandfather we used to drive all over the place. And I remember back out in your area was all farmland. I mean, yeah, we do need housing for people, but geez, we have to eat too. I couldn't believe it when I took a ride down that street, Kathy. It's literally called Millionaires Row. And the houses are like the size of a goddamn auto production plant. I'm like, how many fucking bedrooms and bathrooms do you need? Why, isn't your right hand working? That's not sounding good. Are you calling him, Linda? He's kind of making me nervous. You know, Kathy, they were saying a couple of them houses had like 10 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms. I'm like, how many bathrooms does one family need? No. I got mine, but I don't even use it. Too much drama on Discord. That sounds uncomfortable. You know, so that Kathy can give you a call and you guys can talk. I think it's about time to call it a night here. Thank God I have my chat back. Oh God. I felt bad last night. I was like, oh, I can't chat with nobody. I felt like the little kid that didn't have any friends. Linda, you better call Ron. I'm going to call it a night. I thank everybody for being here. Ron, I'm going to be worried about you. Right here. All right. I hope everything goes right with Ron. Yeah, of all times, Mrs. M, not to have a car. You might have to call an Uber or something. I think he better go back to the hospital. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'll do that tomorrow, Mrs. M. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. See you tomorrow.